Hi, parents, guardians, and students. Paragraph writing is a cornerstone of every writing text form. This tutorial video will walk you through how to write an incredible paragraph. So, what is paragraphing? A paragraph is a group of sentences about only one part of a topic. A paragraph can be compared to a hamburger. Would you rather try to cram this massive burger of information into your mouth and digest everything in the world that is known about polar bears? Or would you, or a reader for that matter, prefer to enjoy a bite-sized slider burger, where each miniature burger represents a small, focused portion of information related to, in this case, polar bears? A small paragraph involving their diet, a small bite-sized morsel of information related to their appearance. I'm sure you would agree, paragraphing is the way to go. You'll recall that I started off this tutorial video by stating that paragraphing is the cornerstone for all the writing text forms that students encounter across the primary grades. By the end of grade 3, students are expected to know how to write descriptive paragraphs, explanatory, narrative, review, persuasive, and even newspaper lead paragraphs. Now, there are slight differences amongst these different paragraphs, but that being said, there isn't a tremendous amount of difference. So let's take a look at a general explanatory paragraph form and work from there.
Introduce the topic in a general way. Next, you add 3 details of what you want to say. Then you write a clincher, put this sentence last. Now you have just completed your great paragraph.
Now that you've heard the song outlining the steps you take to write a great paragraph, let's watch how it's done. First, you introduce the topic in a general way. This is the sentence that introduces the paragraph. It tells the reader what this paragraph is about. In this example, the paragraph is going to be about ice cream being a good treat. It will not be about how ice cream is made or how it gets into stores. It will also not be about other desserts and snacks. It will only be about how ice cream is a good treat. Now we must write 3 details of what makes ice cream a good treat. One reason that it's a good treat might be that it comes in many different flavors. This becomes our first detail sentence. Another reason that ice cream is a good treat might be that it is cold. So this becomes our second detail sentence in the paragraph. A third reason that ice cream is a good treat might be that there are many different ways to eat ice cream. This then becomes our third detail sentence. Now we have to write an ending sentence to sum up our paragraph. This sentence is often called the clincher. The clincher often restates the main idea of the first sentence, but in a different way. So we must find another way to sum up the idea that ice cream is a great treat. Perhaps we can quote this well-known expression. And now our paragraph is complete. It contains an introductory sentence, 3 details supporting the introductory sentence, and a clincher that sums up the main idea of the paragraph. So now, let's sing the paragraph song a second time.
Introduce the topic in a general way. Next, you add 3 details of what you want to say. Then you write a clincher, put this sentence last. Now you have just completed your great paragraph.
Now that you've enjoyed, or should I say endured, the paragraph writing song and corresponding example, let's take a look at a strong work sample that's available for download on my website. This is a hybrid paragraph. It both describes and explains a specific monster that was created in class, known affectionately as the egg-bearing heron. We have a strong topic sentence, transition words, and a clincher. We also have success criteria that have been utilized and checked off subsequent to writing. Our co-created graphic organizer, available for download on my website, is segmented into 3 sections with embedded success criteria. There's a section for the topic sentence, for the body, including a couple of quick reference transition words, and a section for our clincher or closing sentence. The Grade 3 graphic organizer removes those 3 segmented portions and assumes that students have previous experience with how to write a paragraph. Thus, the success criteria are front-loaded with lines provided thereafter on which to write. The following anchor chart has some tips on how to write strong topic sentences, bodies, and clincher sentences for paragraphs. I want to unpack some of the key sentence starters and techniques here alongside you. I've strongly suggested to students to begin with a question, inviting the reader to come along on a journey learning about that specific portion of a larger topic. Transition words create flow throughout the body. You might want to gloss up your closing sentence by adding a cool fact after restating the main idea. You may want to even pose a question related to the writing topic that your reader can respond to. There are additional tools and tips available on my Writer's Toolkit webpage. If you're writing a narrative paragraph, it's really important to strike a balance between telling and showing. If you're simply stating, for example, that it's hot outside, you're not creating much of an emotional bond with your reader. Your audience perhaps can relate to things better if you were to describe how a character is sweating or develops a heat rash on their forehead. Perhaps her face became flushed, and that's something that they may have experienced as well. There are additional narrative paragraph writing tips and tools on my narrative website. Taking a quick glance at news article paragraphs, news reporters try to answer the questions who, what, where, when, why, and how within the lead paragraph of their news articles. Overall, we want to introduce the topic in a general way, specifying what is going to be covered within the body. We likely want to brainstorm some guiding questions that can be answered prior to writing, and then do a really thorough job of answering those questions within the middle of our paragraph burger. And we want to round things off at the very end. Don't forget to indent 5 finger spaces to show the reader where a paragraph begins. And don't forget to skip a line in between paragraphs to show that the topic has now switched onto something different. Happy writing, and I hope this tutorial video will help you in writing a strong paragraph.